All right, folks, once again, we welcome you all to Moments of Matters Arising with the Street Comrade. It's that moment that you and I used to, look at issues as they unfold globally, as they unfold in economies, as they unfold in different political arena, as they unfold, in our social coexistence, so to say. So I welcome you all once again. For our brothers and for our followers who are of the Orthodox, especially in Russia, we are wishing you happy Easter. Recall weeks ago that general Christendom, celebrated the Easter. Today, or there, I think from today or yesterday, the Orthodox in Russia and elsewhere in the world are now celebrating their own Easter based on their calendar. So we are wishing them happy Easter. Quickly, as African leaders keep holding on to power, Djibouti President Ismail Omar wins for a sixth term. Djibouti President has won his sixth term, to hold on to power. Qatar Ministry of Transport says it's set to resume maritime navigation. Qatar, which is in the Middle East and which had been a victim of the Iran US, Israeli war, has made a statement that maritime activities from today, Sunday, will continue as it used to be, regardless of whatever that comes out of the peace talk in Islamabad. U.S. warship passes through the Strait of Hormuz for the first time in weeks after the war erupted. The U.S. warship has reportedly, passed through the Strait of Hormuz, and I think it was trying to scoop up the mines that Iran IRGC, has deposited along that axis. So, and we're having feelings that the Iranian IRGC is saying that they don't even know where those mines are. So the US warship that are sweepers, mine sweepers, are currently parading the Gulf as reported, the axis, the strait as reported. So to sweep and clean up, that axis for ships to begin to sail through. US Iran Islamabad talks fails as parties hold on to their requests. Yesterday, up to this morning, early hours of this morning local time, the negotiators from US and from Iran met in Pakistan, Islamabad's the capital, to discuss on how to bring peace to play in the Gulf region. According to J.D. Vance, the US Vice President, he said it was a total collapse, and the talk was a total collapse. But from the Iranian axis, the foreign minister said there is hope, as there is no peace talk that ends in a day. And I think I love that. I love him for that. That gentleman has been gentleman, enough. He has actually been a gentleman. He has sought for ways to make sure that this crisis ends. So I give it to the Iranian foreign minister, regardless. So he said that he's still hopeful that the US should give room for continuation of talks and, for in sincerity of purpose, that this war should come to an end. Vladimir Putin, Russia's Vladimir Putin announces ceasefire to celebrate the Orthodox Easter. But sadly, during the general Easter, when the Ukrainian president Zelensky, declared a ceasefire, Russian president did not accept to uphold that. But today he's asking for a ceasefire. Ukrainian president has equally obliged, has accepted, embraced the ceasefire. He says that's the difference in two personalities. Iran arrests 50 people for alleged mercenary activities. Iran has arrested about 50 of its citizens, on allegations that they are feeding the United States and Israel information, you know, as the war, continues. However, we are still believing that both parties, as at this time, is still holding on to this ceasefire that was put in place, the 2 week ceasefire that has been put in place. So let's see how it goes within the coming days. Nigeria. Again, terrorists overrun a military camp, killing a brigadier general. This is not common, and we are calling on the government of the day to, expedite action. It's unheard of. Within months, we've lost generals to these street urchins, and that's not a good one. Personnel of Army and Navy clashes in Bayelsa after Tinubu visit. Naval officer and some army officers, as we saw in the social media, exchanging blows. But reports added that they have all been arrested and, will pass through the disciplinary, processes of the military. INEC postpones nationwide voter revalidation following public outcry. However, I'm thinking that it's not everything that Nigerians should, make a complaint. Revalidating the voters register is equally an important step towards any election, because there are some people that have passed away. There are some people, who have changed locations and stuff like that. So it needs to be revalidated. It's not everything we'll cry over and we'll cry foul of. However, we've pushed our neck to, suspend the exercise, at the moment. National Center for Disease Control confirms 663 cases of Lassa fever nationwide, with about 179 deaths or thereabouts. So, NCDC has raised alarm that there is Lassa fever, in some states. Nigeria presents list of 48 Nigerians funding terrorism. Yesterday, we woke up to a news that the federal government has, brought out a list of about 48 Nigerians and some, entities who are funding terrorism. Now, Nigerians are asking, and critical minds are wondering, what's the next step? We've seen the list, we've seen the names, but they are still cooling in their houses. They are still cruising lives, most of them. So of what use is the list? If we cannot expedite action to bring them to book, it doesn't make sense. So we ask the Nigerian government to take this issue serious and to nip this insecurity amongst other, demands that Nigerians are asking for. All right, I'll leave you here, gentlemen and ladies. I remain your anchor, and it still remains moments of matters arising with the street comrade. Have a blessed weekend ahead, and have a blessed new week ahead. Thank you for being there.